1, 3. Okay, and so if you notice up here on the board, it says solve each equation or formula for the specified variable. So what's happening now is we're not just solving equations. Okay, we're actually and getting a numerical result. We're actually solving them for a variable. So let's go ahead and look up here on the board. All right, it says we have 8r minus 5q, and that equals 3. And we want to solve it for q. So what that means is I want to get q here all by itself. And that's what I want to solve for. And so what's the first thing I'm going to do in order to get q all by itself? Minus 8r. So I'm going to subtract 8r from both sides. On the left side, when you do that, you are now left with negative 5q. On the right side, those are not like terms. You cannot combine them. And as a result, you're just going to leave it as 3 minus 8r. Now, we need to solve that for q. So what are you going to do? Divide by negative 5. So I end up getting q to equal 3 minus 8r divided by negative 5. Now, one of my rules, okay, one of my rules is that you cannot have a negative in the denominator. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change that to a positive and change both of those signs. And then that will be your final answer. So your final answer will be negative 3 plus 8r all divided by 5. Negatives in the denominator just means it's not simplified. It's kind of like having square roots in the denominator. Can't have that. Okay. So let's go and look at another one. This says solve PV equals nRT for n. So what I want to do is get the n all by itself, and here's the n. So in order to get the n all by itself, I have to get rid of the r and the t, correct? So how do you get rid of the r and the t? Divide. So I end up having PV over RT, and that equals n. And then that is your final answer. Okay, so pretty straightforward. We've got a few problems left. Okay, let's look at the next one. The formula for the surface area S of a cylinder is S equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh, where r is the radius of the base and h is the height of the cylinder. Solve the formula for h. So I want to get the h here all by itself. That's your first goal. So what should you do?
Divided by 2 pi
Minus 2.
You need to subtract the 2 pi r squared first before you divide. We've got to get rid of that first. So on the left side, you now have S minus 2 pi r squared. On the right side, what do you have?
2 pi r.
2 pi rh. Okay. What do you do now? Divide by 2 pi r. Yep. Because we want to solve it for h. So I'm going to divide both. Oh, pen's acting up. Divide by 2 pi r. Now, some people think you can cancel the 2 pi r's. You can't. Okay, because you just have a single value s here. It doesn't have, this doesn't have a 2, a pi r, and r, so you can't cancel anything out. So your answer is just s minus 2 pi r squared, all divided by 2 pi r. And that's going to equal h.
What is 2 pi r squared on the bottom?
Nope.
Could you still be slipping?
Nope. You can't cancel because you've got a subtraction sign here. All right, let's go back. There we go. If 6x minus 12 equals 18, what is the value of 6x plus 5? So what do you think we need to do in this problem? Add 12, good. So I'm going to add 12 first, and I get 6x to equal what? 30. So what you could do right now is you could stop, and you could go ahead and solve because it says 6x equals 30, right? And this one says 6x plus 5. Well, what can I replace the 6x here with? 30. So what's your answer going to be? 35. Now that's one way. Now if that kind of confuses you, what you can do is you can solve this equation for x. Divide by 6, and you get x to equal 5. And then you would plug 5 in here for x, and you would still get 35. So it's just a matter of if you want to cut out 1 or 2 steps. Let's look at another one of those. Okay? If y over 5 plus 8 equals 7, what is the value of y over 5 minus 2? So what do you need to do here? Subtract 8. Okay, so y over 5, what does that equal? -1. So now let's save the step. Let's not do the extra steps. In place of y minus 5 over here, what am I going to put? So my answer is -3. Good. Okay, we've got one more example we're going to look at, and then you'll have the rest of the time to work. I guess not, sorry. Guess you don't have one more example. Your assignment is on page 23, 45 through 50. And then on page 26, okay, on page 26, I need you to do 1 through 18.
You want that on?
Yes, I want them all together. 45 through 50 and page 26, 1 through 18, all on the same page.